Okay, let's start with a little thought experiment. I want you to picture something.
Okay, I'm with you.
You're walking down a street, and you look down, and there's a giant number painted on the pavement. You see it? Clear as day. It's a 6.
A 6. Loop at the bottom. Got it.
But then someone else who's walking from the opposite direction stops right across from you. They look at the exact same paint, and they tell you you're absolutely wrong.
They say it's a 9.
They swear it's a 9, and the thing is, you're both right. You're just, well, you're standing in different spots.
And that little riddle it's the perfect way into what we're talking about today, isn't it?
Yeah.
We think reality is this one fixed thing.
Right. If I'm right, you have to be wrong. But it's not always like that.
And so much of our emotion, our anger, our stress, it isn't about the thing that happened. It's about our position relative to that thing.
Exactly. And that's why today we're doing a deep dive into this really fantastic essay by Jimmy Dung called Change Perspective, Change Perception. I'll admit, I thought it might be a bit academic.
Philosophy lecture, yeah.
But it's not. It's actually, it feels more like a practical guide for emotional self-defense.
It's the physics of emotion, really.
Yeah.
It explains why we get insulted, why we feel like failures, and how to change that without changing the world.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack how shifting your position mentally, socially, can totally change your reality. From petty insults all the way to, well, how to handle massive failures.
And the author sets the stage perfectly. He says, look, the laws of the universe are fixed. Day becomes night, things fall down, but our feelings about events, they're completely fluid.
Like a football match.
Exactly. The game ends, the score is 3-2. That's a fact. But for half the stadium, it's joy. For the other half, it's misery.
The event is the same, but the experience is the polar opposite.
And that difference right there,
Yeah.
that's where all our power is.
Which brings us to this first big idea in the text, and it's all about scale. He uses this fish analogy that I think it's going to hit home for a lot of people.
Oh yeah. This is a great way to think about emotional scaling.
It's so simple. So imagine you own one single pet fish. It's in a little bowl on your desk. You named him. He's your guy.
Mm-hmm.
One morning you wake up and he's dead. You're crushed. Your whole day is just ruined. It feels like a huge, massive loss.
Because in your personal ecosystem, that fish was 100% of your aquatic population.
Mm-hmm.
The loss is total.
Exactly. But then, let's flip it. Imagine you're a fish farmer. You've got a giant pond with, thousands of fish.
Okay.
And on any given Tuesday, a few of them die. Do you even notice?
Probably not. And if I do, it's a statistic. It's not a tragedy. You move on with the work.
So is the pond owner a cold, heartless person compared to the fishbowl owner?
No, and that's the key. It's not about caring less. It's about the scope of your perspective. When your world is the fishbowl, every event is massive. When your world is the pond, individual losses, they just don't destabilize the whole system.
It makes me think about my own week, If every little thing, a rude comment, bad traffic, feels like a catastrophe, maybe the problem isn't the comment. Maybe my pond is just too small.
You need to widen the scope. And this idea of scale, of distance, it leads right into what I think is the most powerful image in the whole essay.
Oh, the skyscraper metaphor.
A skyscraper, yeah. It's such a brilliant tool for dealing with criticism.
I love this. Okay, so the author breaks it down by floor level. Let's start on the ground, floor 1.
Yeah, there on the sidewalk.
And someone walks right up to your face and starts cursing you out, just screaming insults.
At that level, you hear every single word. You feel the aggression. Your body instantly reacts. You get angry, you tense up, you probably yell back.
Of course. You're engaged in the fight because you're on the same level as the fight.
Right.
Okay, now let's hit the elevator. We're going up to the 10th floor. You're looking down from a balcony. Same guy is down there, still yelling up at you.
What changes? Well, the distance. You can't really make out the specific words anymore. You just see an angry person waving their arms.
Yeah, and this author points out something really funny here. You might even misinterpret it. You might think he's, waving hello?
Right. And you might just wave back, all friendly.
Which is just, it's a hilarious image. The guy is down there about to burst a blood vessel, and you're up there like, hi, hope you're having a good day.
And notice, the insult hasn't changed. The angry man is still there. But your reaction has gone from rage to just mild confusion, maybe even amusement, all because of a little altitude.
And then the final stop, all the way up. The 100th floor, the penthouse.
Now what do you see?
Nothing. Well, not nothing. You see the city, the lights, the skyline, the guy on the street. He's a speck. You can't hear him. You can't even see him. He's become completely irrelevant.
And that is mental elevation. When you raise your position through maturity, success, or just a shift in mindset, the petty stuff that used to drive you crazy, it just vanishes.
So the insult didn't go away. You did. You went up.
The insult didn't change. You did. That's the whole point. If you want the noise to stop bothering you, don't try to silence the world. Just take the elevator.
It's not about having thicker skin. It's about having more altitude. I love that. But it's not the only trick, is it? The essay gets into framing, too.
Yes, and this part is just wild. It shows how the simple order of words can change our entire moral judgment.
It's like a language game. Let's try a few of them from the text. I'll give you the blunt version, and you give me the reframed one.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, first one. A man says, "I like someone's wife."
Oof. Yeah, my immediate reaction is, that's not good. It sounds predatory, immoral, like he's planning something.
It does. It feels aggressive. Now, how does the author reframe it?
The person I like happens to be someone else's wife.
Wow. Okay, just saying it like that, it feels completely different.
Right. The first one is about desire and action. The second is about circumstance and tragedy. It makes him sound like a victim of bad timing, not a predator. But the facts are identical.
Okay, next one. A little more direct. Phrase A, "I want to sleep with you tonight."
Very transactional. Sounds a bit vulgar, maybe. It's purely about the physical act.
Okay, and the reframe.
"I want to wake up with you and watch the sunrise."
So smooth.
It is. But again, the mechanics are the same. In order to wake up with someone, you generally have to,
Right.
But one frame focuses on the act, the other on the connection that comes after. It's brilliant.
Here's one I think is incredibly relevant today, about how we judge people. So I tell you about a young woman. She's a university student, but at night, she works as a hostess.
The brain immediately creates a narrative. It sounds like she's falling, like the nightlife is corrupting her education. It's a story of decline.
A downward trajectory. Okay, now flip it.
She's a nightclub hostess at night, but during the day, she still goes to university.
Same person, same two facts. But says
See, here was hero. She's resilient. She's fighting for her dream. The first version implies the job is hurting the school. The second implies the school is triumphing over the job.
It's all just storytelling. One last one, quick. Fighting but always losing.
Incompetence. It's hopeless.
Versus losing but always fighting.
That's bravery. That's the Rocky story.
So this proves how careful we have to be. When we judge someone or ourselves, are we looking at the facts or just the way the story was told?
Which leads right into role bias, because that's another place our judgment gets completely warped.
Right, the idea that our position dictates our morality.
And that we demonize people who are just playing a different role on the same board.
The first example is from nature. A wolf kills a sheep. To us, it's brutal, it's cruel, poor sheep.
But to the wolf, it's dinner. It's survival for the pack. There's no evil there, just instinct. The wolf and the sheep are physically incapable of seeing the event the same way.
And we do this all the time in our own lives, the boss versus the employee. It's the ultimate 6 versus 9 scenario.
Totally. The employee sees the boss pushing for overtime and thinks, what a slave driver, so greedy.
But the boss is looking at the numbers and thinking, if we don't get this done, people lose their jobs. The company folds.
And the boss sees the employee leaving right at 5 o'clock and thinks, lazy, no commitment. The employee just calls it work-life balance. Neither's wrong. They just have conflicting interests.
Or when you're buying something online. When you're the buyer, the seller is always price gouging.
And when you're the seller, every buyer is a lowballer trying to rip you off.
It's so true. Our ethics change the second we switch sides of the transaction.
And knowing this, it doesn't solve the conflict, but it can reduce the anger. You stop seeing the other person as a monster and start seeing them as someone who's just standing on the other side of the number.
Okay, so we've talked about how we see other people. What about how we see ourselves? Especially when we mess up.
The Google Maps philosophy. This part is, I think this is the most actionable advice in the whole piece.
I agree. So think about when you're driving and you take a wrong turn. What does your GPS say?
It says recalculating or rerouting.
Does it yell at you? Does it say, you idiot, you always miss this exit? I knew you'd do this.
No, thank God. It'd be a terrible product.
It just states the new plan from where you are now. No judgment, no baggage.
And the author's question is, why can't we treat ourselves that way? When we make a mistake in life, fail a project, say the wrong thing, we tend to pull the car over and just beat ourselves up for hours.
For days, sometimes years. We just keep replaying the wrong turn.
We get stuck. But the GPS logic is flawless. The mistake already happened. You can't undo it. The only useful question is, okay, where do I go from here?
There's a great line. Allow yourself to be wrong, but don't stand still just to blame yourself.
It's about forward momentum. Guilt keeps you frozen in the past. Rerouting accepts the past and immediately focuses on the future.
I'm going to try that. Just whisper it to myself next time I drop the ball. Rerouting.
It's a powerful little mantra, but there is a bit of a cold shower in the essay before we wrap up.
Yeah, the part about status and judgment.
This is where it gets into a pretty hard truth about how society works. It argues that the world judges your actions very differently based on your level of success.
It's that framing game again, but applied to a whole life story. If you're wealthy and successful, your past mistakes are called what?
Experiences.
Yeah.
Lessons learned. They become part of your heroic journey.
Oh, he failed in 3 businesses before he made his billions.
Right.
What a legend.
Exactly. But if you're poor or still struggling, those same failures are just failures. Your effort is seen as flailing or struggling aimlessly.
You're not learning lessons, you're just making mistakes. That feels so unfair.
It is unfair. But the logic is that people judge the process based on the outcome. If you succeed, they retroactively decide all your steps were genius. If you haven't, they assume your steps were flawed.
So how do we fix that? How do you get people to see your struggle as valuable experience?
And here's the tough part. The author says, you can't. You can't talk them into it.
You can't explain your way out of it.
No. Don't just try to explain, he says. Because their judgment isn't based on your words, it's based on their viewpoint, where they're standing. The only way to change their perception is to change your position.
Yeah. Successful.
Pretty much. If you change your status, the world will automatically reframe your past for you. You won't have to explain why your failures were valuable lessons. Your success will become the proof.
Stop arguing with the people on the sidewalk and just take the elevator up to the 100th floor.
Exactly. When they have to look up to see you, they'll see you differently.
Wow. Okay. Let's try to tie this all together. It's been a journey.
It really has. From a number on the ground to the penthouse.
We started with that 6 and that 9, learning that objective truth can depend entirely on your coordinates.
We talked about the fishbowl versus the pond, a reminder that if every small thing ruins your day, you need a bigger pond.
We climbed the skyscraper. Floor 1 is where the anger lives. Floor 100 is where the peace is. And that's about mental elevation, not just money.
We saw how losing but fighting is bravery, while fighting but losing is incompetence. Same facts, different story.
And we learned to treat our failures like a GPS. Stop yelling at yourself. Just reroute.
And finally, that hard lesson. You can't always control how people see you, but you can work on where you're standing.
So a final thought for everyone listening. Think about that one thing that's really bothering you right now. A conflict, a mistake, a worry.
Everyone's got one.
If you apply the logic from this deep dive, is that problem an objective fact? Or is it just a symptom of you standing on the first floor?
Is it the thing itself, or is it your proximity to the thing?
And here's the challenge. What would happen to that problem if, right now, you just decided to take the elevator, if you mentally moved yourself to the 100th floor and looked down?
The problem might not disappear. The angry man might still be on the street.
But you might not be able to hear him anymore. And the view from up there is a whole lot better.
It certainly is.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.